So we're here with a colt we call Mike. We bought him at the open box Rafter Ranch production sale in Rapid City, South Dakota last fall of 2019 that would be now. We've had him about 6 months. He has not been hosed by us. He was hosed for the sale. It was a very effective process, but things are done different in the West versus the East. They ran 4 or 5 colts into about a 24 by 24 pen, sprayed them with a sudsy water, ran them into the next pen, and hosed them off loose. They were barely halter broke. It was a good way to do that job. I'm going to introduce him to hosing the way we do it back east here. And I think I can fairly say that that hose job did him absolutely no harm, but I don't think he learned anything about being hosed. I think it just happened and he moved on. Pretty level-headed colt, so we're going to introduce hosing to Mike today. So the first thing is you don't start just going out and cranking up the hose and spraying your colt down like you're trying to put out a fire. What you want to do is make sure that you've done groundwork. Make sure that the colt is yielding. Make sure that his default is to face you and not pull back. You don't want to turn the hose on him, have him turn tail, jerk the halter rope out of your hands, and leave the country. If your colt isn't halter broke, like you should be, then work on that, and he can stay dirty till you hose him. See, he's yielding his whole body away from me. I'm not as crazy about just emphasizing groundwork on top of groundwork on top of groundwork, but I do want him respectful. I do want him to yield. I do want him not to try to pull away. So we're going to get the hose, and we're going to begin by turning it on at a very modest level, and then I'm going to let him chase the water away. You could tie a horse up and just turn the hose on him. You probably get away with it, but maybe a little slower process builds a better horse. So I'm going to let him have a look at this. He's not terribly frightened. He's a fairly confident colt, but I want him to feel like he's in control of the situation, that water is going to go away from him, and that he can be comfortable with it. Now, when I spray him, which I'm going to do here in a second, I'm not going to have a whole lot of water coming out, and I'm going to let him move, which I assume will do. So I'm going to start there. See, if he wants to move, I'm going to let him move, but I'm going to put that pressure on him. And what he does with the hose is he yields just the way he was doing to the halter rope. So basically, he's getting away from that pressure by doing the right thing. And I turned up the hose a little, and there he's stepping away. And when he steps away, I take the hose away. This is all new to him. We're learning a lot about him. This is a good time to observe your horse, analyze what he's doing, do what you need to do to make it work. But what's reassuring to me is this colt says, I'm curious, I trust you, I'm not afraid of what you're doing, I don't think you're going to hurt me, I see no reason to panic. That tells you quite a bit about your colt, and maybe it tells you something about the way you've handled him so far. So I'm going to do the other side. This may be more sensitive because it's his offside. They typically have less handling on the offside. But he's saying, you know, if I face you, that hose is only going to last a little while. And he may even be saying, it's kind of cool. Curiosity is a great thing. Use it to your best benefit. So if he wants to move around, see, I'm not holding him. I am not holding him. There you go. Thank you. And he stopped. When he stops, that's the right answer. And it'll take him a little while to get the idea of being hosed and not moving. And I'm not going to overstay my welcome with him and be insistent. He has been tied quite a little bit. So if I wanted to, and I got myself tangled up in the hose there, probably shouldn't have taken the spray off of him when he wasn't stopping, but I was trying to fall over myself. So there you go. That's better. Side 2 is a little bit more exciting to him. And the back end is too. You want to keep that back end pointed away from you, just like that. And I don't care if he gets in the hose. That's real life. I'm not worried about if he will get tangled up in the hose. I'd be disappointed if he didn't. It's an opportunity. Every little challenge is just an opportunity for him to learn a little bit more. Now, I'm not going to restrain him. I'm going to let him go. Going to let him go. Going to let him go till he stops. Till he stops. Got to go the whole way to a stop, buddy. So that's the start of this process. And I don't discourage a horse from getting a feel of that hose on their nose. Horses learn more than we realize from their sense of touch. Their sense of touch. If you think about it, that's why an electric fence is so effective with a horse. It doesn't really hurt them, but they can't touch it and get to know it. This they can touch, and they find out it not only doesn't feel bad, but it's kind of a nice, refreshing feeling. And pretty quick he's coming after it instead of running away from it. So that's the start of the process. Now, I'm going to take kind of a leap of faith here and say that if I chose to tie this particular horse up, he has been tied a lot. We're going to do a segment on tying. I am not tying him hard and fast. I'm using a tie ring. I can play this out as I need to, but I'm just going to see how he reacts if I put a little bit of hose on him when he is restrained. Now, he can move his back end around. I'm going to let that happen, but I would be disappointed if he panicked and pulled back. So I'm going to give him a little dose of water, take it away. Little dose of water, take it away. Little dose of water, and that's okay. I'm not going to scold him for that. But this is what you want. You want to be able to go around your horse and hose him off. And you, of course, would, at some point that has to end, doesn't it? Well, we just go to side 2. So he's a little antsy about that, but overall, I'm well pleased with the way he reacted to his first hosing. I'll do the other side, but I don't need to do that on camera. This basically tells me that he is not scared, that he trusts me, and that his mind is, frankly, as good as I hoped it would be. Now, he's getting lots of moral support over the fence from Simon. Quit it. And there he stands, so I'm going to turn the hose off, and that's enough. The big thing to remember is when to quit. They remember how things end. You get to pick how things end. End on a good note. That was a pretty good session. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.